OpenKM allows the execution of complex workflows. We enter the administration of workflows. We look at the definition of an example of workflow. And we can see the tasks trail of this specific workflow. Assigned to this workflow are templates for creating documents, from the metadata through a form assistant. We'll log in a user and that user will start to process with a workflow. In this case, he'll select a town, and automatically, when doing this, we are solicited to input data for the files. This data is being solicited from the templates in the metadata structure, and the values are being automatically assigned. And so a workflow is being executed. Here, in the first draft, a document has been created with a series of metadata. We then go to the workflow chart. Here we have a workflow that is being executed. We look at the diagram of this specific workflow, and we can see that it has now a task assigned that is called Establish Date. We now go back to the user that initiated this workflow, and it is this user that has been assigned to Establish Date. Straight away, he is being asked to download the document. Once the date has been established so that it can be printed. Once the document has been printed, the next task he or she should do is upload that document. We come back again to the workflow chart. The workflow in this case will have by then be finished. And we can see that it is now finished. We go back to the same user, and here we can see that some metadata has been modified in a file that was created automatically with the metadata of the finished workflow. And with all the metadata collected and executed during this workflow process. We'll start now a new task, a new file. We select a town, and we are being asked additional information. In this case, we have to select a mayor, and we have to select an agreement. It will then automatically create a structure of folders. And then the assistant will give us some forms to fill in. Then the workflow will be put in progress. We can see that here. We can see the initial documents in the first draft. And from the initial workflow chart, we can see that a new process has started and that a task has been assigned to a user or NSV. We log in that new user. As can be seen in the lower part, there is a workflow task assigned. We click on the task, and it asks us to accept or cancel this process. We accept, and then we go to the workflow chart. We can see that there is a new task being processed, in this case, law profession. So we then log in as a law user. We can see we have tasks that need to be assigned. In the lower part, we assign ourselves this task. And here we are being asked to download the document to be printed. Once we have downloaded and printed the document, we'll be asked to upload this printed document. We then go to the following task. As we were told before, it is asking us to upload the printed document that we downloaded before. And it will also ask us to upload a law document so that the workflow process is initiated. Then we go back to the workflow chart. We refresh the chart, and where we have gotten to and what task needs to be addressed, we find ourselves with having to establish the date. We log in as a JPT user, and as we can see in the lower part, this JPT user has got assigned to establish a date. We establish the date, and now we are asked to print the document. Once the document is printed, in the following task, we'll be asked to upload the printed document. We then go back to the workflow chart, we refresh the data, and we can see that the workflow process has now ended. We go back to the user panel, and we can observe the folders and files that have been created during this process. We can see here in this folder the file has been finalized, and we can see that those files have been created throughout the working process of the workflow, with all the data that has been recorded during the whole process. During every task, emails can be sent and anything can be executed.